Hello and welcome to the Nick Speaks podcast, 100th edition. I'm Kyle Goodknight, Nick's producer. He's challenged me to do something fun for his 100th episode. So what I'm going to be doing is coming up, I'm going to actually leave my home studio and instead of hooking up with him virtually like so many of you have, I'm going to be leaving the house. He lives in the same town I do or same general location. I'm going to drive over and surprise him, and we're going to have our 100th episode together and have some very good surprises coming his way. He has no clue I'm doing it this way. He just said, Kyle, I'm putting you in charge of my 100th episode. Don't fuck it up. That's what he said, word for word. You know, Nick, he says it like he sees it, right? So I'm hoping not to fuck it up today. Tune in for the rest of it, and here we go. Welcome to the Nick Speaks podcast, where we speak up, speak out, and speak loud for the disabled community. Tune in every Tuesday, and don't forget to subscribe. And now your host, Nicolas Comstock. Okay, guys, I am here at Nick's place. One cool thing about where Nick lives, it is protected and safe. So I'm in a vestibule right now waiting. I did go ahead and tell him I'm here. So the surprise is now happening. He hasn't answered the door yet, but here we are. There's his caregiver down the road there. We're going to go surprise him on his 100th episode. Is he in his room? Yeah. All right. I'm Kyle, man. What's up? Nice meeting you. What's up? Nicolas Comstock, 100th episode.
What's up, man? Are you videoing me? Oh, gosh.
I started videoing at home, and I was like, we're going to go surprise Nick. So here it is, and I will piece this all together later. But what's up? 100
what's up?
Proud of you.
My hair's a mess.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and pause this. The surprise actually worked, so we're gonna come back and we're gonna have some conversations with Nick about his 100th episode. Actually, 1 through 199. We're gonna talk about maybe not all of them, but we're gonna have some good discussions about his episodes, and we'll let him get freshened up here a little bit.
Oh.
A little more presentable for the rest of the podcast. So thanks everybody for helping me out with the surprise. And I got a few more still up my sleeve that he didn't know about.
Oh, geez. Bye, guys.
Hey, what's up, Nick? Congratulations on episode 100, my man. That is such an amazing accomplishment. There's so many people out there that start a podcast and then, something happens, but you being consistent and getting 100, man, congrats. That's amazing. I just want to say, man, I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate the fact of being able to be a guest on your podcast. And it was wonderful to be able to tell my story in a different way than what I had traditionally talked about. So I just appreciate you giving me that platform and being able to share my story in a different way. Thank you so much, my friend. Congrats on 100. Looking forward to 200, 250, 500, 1,000. You're doing an amazing job out there, my man. And I'm just extremely, extremely excited that you are getting this accomplishment, and looking forward to recording future podcasts with you, my friend.
Hey, Nick, congratulations on your 100th podcast recording. This is Connie Davis, host and fellow podcaster of Unlocking Commerce and Business. And I just wanted to congratulate you. I wanted to say what an incredible journey it is to unlock your voice, to speak up and to speak out. And I'm just so excited for you and this milestone. And I love to celebrate fellow podcaster journeys. So great to see this milestone, and keep going. All right. Bye.
All right, everybody. This is Nick's 100th episode. I am here with him today. And we got a couple of cameras going so I can isolate on him if I have to. And want to welcome everybody to the Nick Speaks podcast, where we've got our first surprise guest that Nick had no idea is coming on. And there he is.
What in
What's
the
up?
world? What?
Well, welcome to your 5th time on my show.
Well, I figured that the person who'd been on the most needs to be the first guest to congratulate you on your 100th episode.
Well, thank you. And I know that you've been through a lot this weekend, so we won't get into that. Well, maybe we will if I want to embarrass the fire out of you. But anyway, thank you, Dan.
Fair.
You know I love you, so thank you.
Yeah, man, I love you. Congratulations. It's super cool, and it's a big accomplishment. You know, we always talk about, and especially on your podcast, we always talk about how you know, you're always told you can never do this, you can never do this. And it's amazing to see how far you've come. You live by yourself, you take care of yourself. And you know, you're doing 100 episodes. I mean, it's pretty incredible. So I just want to say congratulations, man. Love you. So proud of you. I always knew you could do it. I'm always your biggest cheerleader and always will be. And just want to say, you know, congrats.
Well, thank you so much. And I hear my little nieces, my adopted nieces in the background.
So real quick, I'm not sure how much time you have, Daniel, but first of all, I listened to one of your songs last night. Oh my God. Okay, well, that'll be another episode. Wow. Very good. But I want to ask Nick, with you on, so out of the 4 times you've had him on, this would be the 5th, like you said. So out of the 4 times you've had him on, what is probably the most memorable time that stands out in your head just off the bat?
Oh God, we go down the rabbit trail so much.
I know I've watched some of them on the editing side, so I get
know.
it.
I feel so bad for Kyle when we do an episode because you don't know, like, if you watch the little things on YouTube where the little like markers, they change every like 30 seconds because it's like we're talking about one topic and 15 seconds later we talk about another one. I don't know. What do you think, Nick?
Yes. I have no idea. We just talk about whatever comes to our mind, which has been, I think the most memorable moment for me when he was like, hold on a second, I have a Charlie horse. And I'm like, really, dude? You have to stand up? Okay. So, yeah, that was fun.
I was going to say, probably the last episode where it just went off the rails and then we couldn't
you guys were really giggly
together,
that time. Yeah.
Oh, man. It was a good.
So let's ask this then. Maybe most like, what do you think? The one topic that you guys covered on your 4 other episodes that you think that maybe got the most comments, or people may have reached out to you and mentioned something that you and Daniel talked about. Like, was there anything like that?
Well, that's something I hope to fix beyond episode 100. Is we don't really get a lot of comments on the show. So I need you guys to like, comment, and share what goes on here. Because first of all, it's fun, it's crazy. You never know what's gonna happen, especially with this idiot.
The one, not this one. No, he's not calling me that. He's calling his best friend that.
So yeah,
I'll take it.
Really, Eugene, to like, comment, and share. But I think for me, just talking about how we grew up, because we really grew up kind of in a culty way. Just talking about how we grew up and how, you know, churches need to be more accessible and different things like that is memorable enough for me. I think people just kind of look at our episodes and be like, okay, these guys are 2 idiots, so I'm just moving on for today.
No, we
have a lot of fun.
I think you guys get some pretty good, you get some good views. I mean, I know that you've been out in public before and people said they watch your episodes they do religiously, so that's good. So I just didn't know if you've been out lately and if something that was said on one of the ones where you know that Daniel and yourself had talked about that, if any of that sticks out.
I think for me, was the last one was just stop it with all the conspiracy theories and just let people rest, you know?
Yeah, take a beat, right?
Take a beat instead of just talking crap. Anyway.
So Daniel, what is a piece of it? I know that you're a podcaster too, right? So what's a piece of advice that you've never given Nick, maybe, that you could give him for his next 100 episodes?
One that I'll actually listen to.
I think the biggest thing is just keep going. Most podcasts don't survive. There's probably a statistic out there of how many episodes they survive, and even
Usually it's
we're
about
talking about
10.
like
Yeah.
celebrities. Yeah, we're
10.
talking about celebrities, not even just, your standard Joe Blow just doing a podcast.
Yep.
Like celebrities will do a podcast and they'll stop. I mean, you can go in like hundreds of celebrities have started podcasts, and there's only a few that continue going. So the fact that you made it to 100 is incredible. I always tell Nick, especially when it comes to his social media, he's got a decent following on TikTok. Like, keep it going. It can be discouraging very quickly, very easily to get discouraged, but keep it going, stay solid. And I think he's proven that. I think he's going to. Hey, Nick, one thing I will say that recently, the last podcast that I feel like was a good memory was the fact that when we started getting on, we were arguing politics back and forth, and you and I were just going back and forth in a little bit of a banter. That was really cool, and that was good. Because it got a little heated.
Right. The main thing that I like about, Nick and the diversity that he and welcomes to his show is, he's got his set of views. They've got their set of views. They can have a conversation and still be good friends or still be acquaintances. And that's what I want to make sure that personally that I want to see. I mean, some of you may or may not know my background, but I'm in the medical field. I have to treat the person who shoots the cop, right? Or, you know what I mean? Like, I have to be the one who treats, domestic violence, not only the victim, but the accuser. So like, I have a different worldview on how some people do this. And I think Nick is very similar to that. From knowing Nick now for almost we're working on a year and a half, going towards 2 years. You've known him your whole life, or not whole life, but you've known him since grade school or something like that, right?
Pretty much our whole life.
Yeah. So that's one thing I love about Nick and what he brings to the community of podcasts and social media and his content is that he hears people out. He may agree or disagree with them. And then he still, at the end of the day, tells them he loves them. It's fantastic.
I love you, but you're wrong. No. Yes, absolutely. Onward.
All right, brother. Well, thank you so much for coming in, Daniel. Sorry, I want to say the whole name. I tend to, no worries. So, but we'll touch base. I want to hear more of your music. So, good stuff. All right. Thanks for coming on. We're going to have some more conversation here. So you'll have to tune into to the full episode on Tuesday. So, all right. Take care, Daniel. Bye-bye. All right. What'd you think of that little surprise?
That's good. I call him I'm surprised I didn't say it. My Puerto Rican daddy.
That's funny. Well, let's get back to this 100th episode. I mean, I just put out a social media post on and tagged you in it and invited people to come in. So we may just have people randomly show up. I don't know. They've got to be able to click on a link. Hopefully they know how to do that. But other than that, we can start having other conversations about other stuff that you may want to do. If anybody is, So what do you want to talk about, Nick? 100th episode.
Wow. So this is really special. Every Tuesday I come and I've never missed an episode, and we've let AI take over one, which that got a lot of compliments.
Did it really? Okay, cool.
They were like, "Oh my God, that was so cool." And so I really love that. And for this new chapter that I'm in my life, I want to really invite, and I've said it on other episodes, entrepreneurs, other people that have had struggles that aren't disabled, and how have they made it. And maybe we can, I'm big into celebrity pop culture too. I would be surprised if I could get a celebrity on, but hey,
you never know.
But because I wanted to do the change, because I feel like that there are people that aren't disabled that have had horrific things happen to them and they've come out on top.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to incorporate that. and give able-bodied people a chance to learn and teach me something that maybe I don't know, and maybe just, I don't know. I just wanted to expand my horizons, and
Right.
a lot of people have said you need to expand your horizons outside of disability, and until now I've been stubborn about it.
Yeah.
But
I think you could give a good mix. I think you could, with these next episodes, I think you can break it up. I mean, yes, you spent a lot of time in these first 100 episodes being, a disability advocate, and not only just for other people out there, but for yourself. I mean, one of the things I wanted to talk about today was what you accomplished through your podcasting, and you met somebody that was able to help you get that portable Hoyer lift, which you've been wanting for years.
yeah.
I mean, talk a little bit about that. How did that come about? And was that, if I remember right, it was through your podcasting, you met somebody or somebody introduced you? Like, what was the chain of events that actually finally got you that Hoyer lift that you've been wanting to get for years?
So I met, Rico's been on the show before, the Wheelchair Roundtable.
Yeah.
Shout out to you guys.
Shout out to the Roundtable.
I love you guys so much. And Rico was just like, no, there's a way they can do this. They can do a pre-authorization. And I called my people in Medicaid, and they're like, no, we can do this. It's covered. A lot of times in the disabled community, there's a lot of paperwork and red tape, and people just don't want to do their fucking job. Excuse my French.
I told you in the beginning. I told you he would drop the F-bomb during this episode.
So
that's so Nick.
so yeah, sorry for my overly churched people who probably get mad.
Well, I don't. So you don't even know what you haven't seen the full episode yet, because I recorded something at home, and I did a little. The pre-roll is me dropping the F-bomb about what you told me about this episode. Don't fuck it up, Kyle.
Oh my God! Yeah, I've told him that a million times not to fuck it up.
Hopefully I'm not. Hopefully I'm not effing it up. So hopefully this is a good one.
Well, I think it will be, considering you stormed my room and I had no idea that. I mean, I knew you were coming, but
but you didn't know that I was going to be full on recording, which everybody saw in the beginning. So
oh geez, it's going to be so much fun, and my hair's a mess. So, because usually I'm sitting right in front of that desk with my fake background, which Kyle gave me, or
oh yeah, the one on Zoom. Yeah. So no fake background today. We're recording in a different manner, so you're seeing the raw, real environment that Nick
am all the time.
He's got his lift over here that's above his head. That's for his bed. Yep. He's got a track lift that gets him out of his chair and into his bed with his caregivers, and he has an apartment living on his own with the caregivers. Are they sleepovers too? Do they sleep?
Yeah. Well, they're not allowed to sleep. Reminder.
Oh, okay.
They're not allowed to sleep, but if I'm asleep and I don't know about it, who cares?
Right.
Which I don't sleep well at night anyway, and most of my caregivers would probably be like, I wish this guy would sleep, but I really don't sleep well at night.
And if you see me like looking all over the place, I'm the producer too. So I've got camera 1, I've got camera 2, and I've got another camera behind the scenes just recording everything. Just in case something fails, I'll have 100% of it on another camera. So bear with me in my looking. I'm also watching for people to pop in. I put out a social media grab to invite people in. That's why Daniel came in. So if this isn't live per se, but if you are watching this recording back, I'm going to put a link in the comments of the YouTube channel. It's going to be something where you can click on that link and send a message to Nick. It won't be part of the podcast, but it'll be something that I can get over to him as something that you record after you watch the podcast. If you've been a guest, if you've been somebody who follows his content and want to leave him a message, it will be a link in the comments. It'll say something like, leave Nick a comment. You'll click on that. You'll come into a program that allows you to, it'll just step you 1, 2, 3 through your microphone, your camera, and it'll say hit record. You can record a message. Don't record a 2-hour message, give him a good 2 or 3 minute, 5-minute message. If it's something you really want to talk to him about, 10-minute message. Remember, that's coming into my platform where I can do the editing, but I will eventually get that, and would love to share that with him after this episode. Whether you watch this on Tuesday or any day after, or you see this in the future, that link will always be there. You can leave Nick a message and record that. So
yeah, it's going to be great. And here's a secret that I think most of you know, if not already. I never record this on Tuesdays. I lie to you every week.
Well, I think they understand that. Yeah.
So I never record this on
Yeah, we're not
Tuesdays.
live yet. I want to get to the point where we're live. That'd be great. That'd be really cool to go live every day.
Well, maybe it would be.
Maybe episode 200 we'll start going live. No.
Live, maybe. I don't know.
All right, so let's get back to your content. So out of all the episodes you recorded, 99 now, and excluding this one of 100, what do you think that you look back on and are just super proud of what you put out that day?
Gosh, I think my most favorite ones, even though I hate doing them, have become my monologues now.
Well, that was one big discussion that you and I had about the monologues. I'm a firm believer in the guest format. It's because I like having that talking with people, and I don't have a lot of opinions that I want to share to the world like Nick does. So he got a lot of good feedback about his monologues. People wanted him to do more monologues, which he did. So he's kind of bounced back and forth. And which monologue that you did that you feel has been the most significant?
I think for me, and it might be, last week where I talked about, sometimes I wonder whether or not being mentally enabled and physically disabled is worth it. And maybe I should have been mentally enabled and physically. Maybe I should have been mentally disabled and physically disabled.
No, I don't think that.
Well, I talk about that in detail in that episode because sometimes I really feel that way because I feel like I push the system so much that, listen, I've pushed the system so much in the state of Ohio. They've tried to kick me off of 2 waiver programs. So when they try to kick you off of state funding, you've really pissed some people off.
Well, hopefully if the people that are out there watching that are part of that state funding, everything that even in my world, in the healthcare world, everything comes from questions. Change comes from questions and challenges. And if there's been anything that I've noticed over the 99 episodes that I've helped produce with this, is that you push the questions, you push the talking points. Like I 100% feel that if we were to have individuals that can make change and they see your content, that they'll understand that you are mentally enabled to the nth degree. You're a brilliant person.
Thank you.
Just because the physical disability kind of sometimes overshadows the mental ability, it doesn't mean that you're not a genius. Like you are a very, very smart individual.
Thank you very much.
And that's the thing that, as I sit here and I produce his episodes, and I do see some of the interactions. I do hear the guests talk. And then he does this episode last week about being mentally abled, but then he comes and tells me that the state of Ohio says he's unemployable. I'm like, how can we fix this? Because you're 100% capable of doing anything.
Yeah.
But it's just a matter of it needs to be something that the physical side of it isn't the number one thing.
Right. Well, the problem is with a lot of these state services, and whether it's disabled or not, every system has a cookie cutter way of doing things. And when you come in and you ruin that cookie cutter, like I've done on so many instances, like the list that I have sitting out in my living room right now, they said I would never get it because the Medicaid reimbursement rate is too low. Well, first of all, you're not allowed to say that if you're a Medicaid provider and it's a covered item, so take notes. And so every no that I've had in my life for at least the last 11 years, I've turned into a yes, and it's just persistence.
Yeah. Patience and persistence and
patience I suck at. Persistence I don't.
Well, but the thing is that about the persistence, the impatience brings up the persistence up to the next level.
Yes. Yes, it does. And you have to be willing to cut through the red tape. And I think that's why a lot of disabled family members, and a lot of disabled families just give up because they're like, this is too exhausting. But anything worth having is worth fighting for. So, I mean, I just upgraded my home with a smart thermostat and a bedroom door opener that they said I couldn't have because they were going to have to cut my staffing hours, because your staff is there. They should be able to adjust your thermostat and they should be able to open your door. Well, it wasn't about that for me. It was about adding 2 more things that I didn't need help on. It was about becoming more independent.
Right.
And so that, believe it or not, those 2 things were a 5-year battle. And I just got those, the door opener. I don't know how much the thermostat was. I don't think it was that much, but the door opener alone was, I was told, $6,000.
Yeah, the door opener would be way more than it. I mean, you can get a Wi-Fi enabled thermostat for a couple $100 from Home Depot.
Well, which is what I should have done from the beginning, but at least, now I've made the state for it, pay for it.
Well, as they should. I mean, and
we're
that's
in the red because of Nick.
No, the thing is that, we definitely need that help and that funding, just to make sure that we provide for, our individuals that are trying to make it on their own. And we also need to lift the veil of this, let's get creative. I mean, Nick and I got creative on making a podcast, something that is monetized. And I'm happy to say that it's partially monetized. You've been hired for speaking engagements.
Yes.
You've done some things like that that's made you money. Now it's not consistent and
No.
And the number game when it comes to when it comes to monetization. But Nick has monetized through his podcast by having people see his speaking capabilities, inviting him in to speak at their organizations and paying him for it. So if you're out there and you'd like for a disability advocate to come in and speak to your organization, he's just an email away.
I'm right here. And, we talked about Rico earlier, and he just put me in touch with a rock star that's going to be on my show within the next couple weeks.
Okay.
And she's like, I told her some of the money that they pay me, and she was like, first of all, you need to look at the company's net worth, and because if you look at their net worth,
and then you can charge them for more,
then
right?
You can charge them for more, and so hopefully she's going to be on my show here soon. She's done all kinds of national speaking engagements. She's been in the military, just a real badass.
Nice.
And so
Is she disabled as well, or just okay, all right.
She through a series of events became disabled.
Okay.
It started when she was a child, going deaf in one ear, and then her parents couldn't figure it out, and then just a bunch of other stuff happened.
Gotcha.
But anyway, so and you've taught me one thing, is that it's all about networking.
Yeah.
And finding your ideal client and doing those type of things. And so I've met some incredible people. The Bramwells have been on my show.
Yeah, multiple times.
They're great people.
Yep.
Wheelchair Phillip is funny as fuck.
Yeah,
So,
he is. Yeah, he is. He's very funny.
If you're ever in Tempe, Arizona, or in San Diego, where he plays a lot, go see him. He's hilarious as fuck. I love him. We're gonna put all of his stuff in the show notes, but because he's been on, I think,
3 or 4. Yeah, and I think his mom alone has been on once by herself or twice.
His mom's been on twice.
Yeah, without him. Yeah.
We did the March of Dimes.
Yes, that was big on
expose, and you keep asking about what episodes have stood out. People did talk to me about that one.
Cool.
The March of Dimes. How organizations say they do all the stuff for the impoverished communities, and then you look at where their money really goes to the CEO, which we may do more of that. Since I want to, kind of get out of the disability field a little bit, we may do a little more of that expose type of stuff. I'm not talking like the Epstein files.
Yeah. Just something that uncovers some things that people may not know.
Like, hey, this is where your money is going.
Right.
This is where your money is really going. And you think you're giving to this organization for,
right. Exactly.
And so just a lot of stuff like that. I mean, the Bramwells have been on. I think my favorite might have been episode 71 with Christine.
You just know which episode is each person.
Christine.
That's what I'm talking about. When it comes to his brain, he is mentally all there, folks. Like, I would have never been able to, and I'm the one that edited it. I would never been able to tell you which episode 71 was.
Well, half the time I don't remember, so you'll have to go back and check. He's giving me all kinds of credit, but I think it is episode 71. Where we talked with Christine, what's her last name? Oh shoot.
As I just got done.
she started to inform families first.
Oh yeah. I had her on my podcast too. Yeah, where her
Christine
daughter
Olsen. That's what it is.
That's right. Where her daughter passed away tragically many years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that
and what came about with that? That's a great episode.
That was a very moving episode for me to do. And then we had
and actually she came on my episode because she was on your episode, and I watched that whole entire episode. Like, I do all of them when I edit, but I'm like, I need her on my podcast because I'm a first responder, and she speaks directly to first responders all the time. So I thank you for giving me her as a guest.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
I sent you one too that somebody emailed me from overseas.
Oh yeah.
Did you get that? Okay.
I'll have to double check.
You probably didn't get it. But
I don't know when it was. I may have been on vacation or something.
And I think some of the other ones that really got to people, Kelsey Weaver, her episode got 100 views within the first air date, within the first time that it aired. So I was like, "Yay, Kelsey." But we also had the lady who is responsible for changing spaces.
Yeah, Kim. Yeah, that was a client of mine through a handyman business I used to have. That I did a lot of work for her and her family with a disabled son, and she developed this. She's a huge advocate of the changing tables in public spaces for adults.
Yeah.
Not just the babies. So think about the bathrooms that have the changing stations for babies. She has now implemented for adults, and they're starting to spread all over the state and the country.
I need to get her back on because I'm sure there's been a lot of changes, and she can just reintroduce herself. But yeah, that was a
great episode. That was probably one of your biggest follows.
That got a lot of traction. And I've had Tiff Bowen on twice. That always gets a lot of traction because we talk about sex.
Yeah, those are the ones that really the episodes where Nick can share his more frisky side, or I always get a lot of likes.
Well, I thought you were going to say fruity. That's true too. That's true too. So
frisky,
but frisky, fruity, all that. So anyway. Yeah, but so Tiff Bowen's been on twice.
Shout out to Tiff.
Yeah, she's great. And who else? I've had so many. We've had Dwayne Morton, his incredible story about.
Did you see what Dwayne just recently did? He did 30 days, 30 podcasts, and 30 different men on men's health for the month of June.
Well, 30 days, 30 different podcasts.
Yeah. 1:00 every day, live.
Congratulations.
Yep, I was on, I think, episode 2.
That.
Yeah, that was really incredible. I talked to him afterwards, and he said it was a pretty big feat. He had to be really committed. But yeah, so shout out to Dwayne Morton.
His story was incredible because
it is.
He was misdiagnosed for I don't know how many years, and
it was a good amount of time.
To be told that you have this many times, this much time left.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't think of the movie of the time of the podcast, but I said, you remind me of a movie that Queen Latifah was in. And now I remember the name. It was Last Holiday.
Okay.
His name, or she had some weird disease that she didn't, that they diagnosed her with. And then come to find out, that they misdiagnosed her, which is what happened to Dwayne. I mean,
Right.
they misdiagnosed him and said, you have this much time to live. And I think, 10 years later?
Yeah, they found something and was able to tell him that the diagnosis was wrong, and he had a new lease on life, and is now public speaking like you, and he lives down in, I believe he's in Kentucky somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah. You
I've
should take a road trip and go see him.
I've had guests from all over. I've had guests from Kentucky. I've had guests right here in Ohio.
Sure.
I've had guests from Illinois. I've had my first overseas guest
Who was
back
that?
in
Who was that?
London, Kellyanne.
Oh, yeah. I remember Kelly.
Yeah, and so her episode also got a lot of
Well, that's because it's a whole nother ballgame over there when it comes to disability.
Yes, it
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
You think waiting like 3 months is hard. Try waiting half a year, like
Right.
28 weeks to get something.
And if there's any type of like mess up, they have to wait another 28 weeks. Yeah.
Yep.
If there's a tweak that you have to change, like, oh, we like this, but this has to be changed. Boom, a brand new clock.
And so it really, as much as it's frustrating for the American system, it really made me appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay.
Although, I don't know, if I got over to London, I could probably kick some ass over there too.
Well, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it at all, Nick. So, yeah, we've, you've had so many good episodes. It's, with 100 episodes, understanding what that really means, doing 100 things over and over again consistently. Even when you were in the hospital, we figured out a way to get you guys content.
Yes. Well, because the thing is, and which is why, I pre-record this, a lot of the times when I ended up in the hospital, I had already pre-recorded my shows. And so, and then Kyle over here was like, bitch, no, you're not working in the hospital. I was like, let me know. We heated up. But then with stents in because the biggest problem I had was kidney stones.
Sure.
So with stents in my bladder, I was over here taping. And you guys had no idea. But,
well, then we did. I think one of the times you were in the hospital, we did the AI episode.
No, that was when I had to go because we thought we were going to lose my grandfather, which we did not lose him, thank God. But yeah, so I called Kyle. You were in Florida or doing something.
Who knows? Either way.
And I had called you and I was like, hey, I need you to. Because we had talked about maybe doing the AI episodes as a bonus episode.
We did talk about that. Yep.
Which I don't know. Maybe if you could just let us know, hey, we would like a bonus episode, and that the AI episode would just be a recap of the whatever episode I choose to redo.
Yeah.
And so that'll be fun if we decide to do that. I think one of the most ones that I enjoyed doing for me is this is the beginning of my healing journey. Me personally realizing that I don't have to accept this anymore. Me personally realizing.
Yeah.
And I say that because I don't want you to think, oh, he's trying to push it all on me. No, and I said several times in the episode, this is just my personal story. And so I think that was fun for me to do. Just really eye-opening and stuff. What else you got going on over there?
No, I'm checking on the social media stuff, see if anybody's making comments. That's all. So.
Oh, okay.
And that's how I have another phone here where I was communicating with Daniel to bring him on earlier.
Yeah, well,
I wanted to do that a little bit differently, so I had to. Nick had a slight understanding I was bringing Daniel in because I was like, "Where's your phone? I need to talk to Daniel."
I was like,
because I had
what you need to talk to Daniel for?
I had a little bit of equipment malfunction that we had to kind of punt and go to Plan B, which it's always nice to have a Plan B, which I had, and
I'm surprised he was able to keep that a secret because we talk just about every day.
Yeah, but the only reason why he kept it a secret is I didn't text him until late last night.
Oh, well,
I was keeping very close to the chest about what I wanted to do with everybody.
Well, you know what he has, and he said this before. He has a terrible memory anyway, so it probably would have ended up. You know, and I think one of my other favorite episodes was with Alex and Elizabeth when I had two guests
Mm-hmm.
from Ocala, which Alex
Okay.
is now, I've got to get him on. Alex is now the superintendent of Licking County
Okay.
in Ohio.
Oh yeah, I remember that one now.
And
Yeah,
so-
that was a great episode.
Yeah. So I it was fun because number one, when you know the people that you're interviewing,
Mm-hmm.
it just makes it a whole lot more fun.
So moving forward, thinking about your next episodes, do you have a future look into what people can expect?
I don't. I know that there's going to be more monologues.
Okay.
We might try to drop in a few more AI episodes just in case I say 1 week, really, I don't want to.
Yeah, you want to go somewhere and go out of town. Yeah.
Well, even if I just need a break,
Sure.
I think that
Getting 4 or 5 ahead would help. Yeah.
and I would say too, because I've had people, see me in public and say, "Hey, I watch your episodes every week." And so if you ever see me in public and you watch the show or you watch me on TikTok, please don't be afraid to say hi. So I want to give a shout out to the Ontario Pharmacy and Drug Marts because the whole team apparently listens over there. So hi guys, I still remember you. I saw now she works for, I think, Columbus, but I saw one of your former employees and she was like, "We listen to you every week." So I hope you guys are still listening over there in Ontario. If you're not, shame on you.
Well, we'll make sure that we kick it over because I think you have some connection that still knows those people. So yeah, we'll have to tag them specifically or something.
Maybe, yeah. Or maybe we'll just tag them online.
Right.
I think one of the funnest ones though was back episode 73 when we actually did our first Nick Speaks on the Road installment.
Which was
the speaking engagement at Bike West back in October.
Oh yeah. That was fantastic. And that was a marvel of editing. I mean, I'm not wanting to pat myself on the back, but
no, please do.
But you have to understand how that episode was put together. That episode was recorded on a cell phone just by itself, no connection to any programs. His caregiver was from across the room and was recording the room. And as long as the person was talking towards the phone, the software that I use actually captured it very well. If someone would turn away or if people started laughing in the room, which honestly happened quite a bit because Nick had them rolling. But I think that was one of the episodes that I was most worried about because he wasn't mic'd up. Like we've been to other speaking engagements before where I've mic'd Nick up and we've made content and we can make him sound like he's right on a microphone. But that episode was, not only was it your first, traveling gig to do that and really work a room like you did when it came to getting them to laugh and getting them to understand everything that you were explaining that day. But on the back end, my part, it was a feat and a testament to the program that I use to edit Nick's stuff in and make things sound as good as possible, even when the audio quality is not great. So great episode. Go check it out. He cracks people up. Actually that episode, it's season 2, the new intro, part of that episode part of that intro on season 2 comes from that episode when he tells a joke and he hits his beep button.
Oh, yes. The new intro.
The season 2 intro.
Yeah.
Like, I want to,
the new year.
I'd like to have a signature audio, like an audio tag. And he told a joke and he bleeped himself because he cussed and it brought the house down. Like I started cracking up just watching it. They were all laughing. And so I was like, that's it. That, that kind of stuff, that's that organic way that things happen. And that is his signature sound. So right before Nick says hello every week, if you hear a beep that sounds like a wheelchair backing up, that's Nick's actual beep that I isolated and put into that intro.
Yeah. And so that's so cool too. And I just love things like that. And I keep going back and remembering certain episodes. I've had, Emily Kendall on twice. And of course with I'm blanking now, the Bram mama, Julia, having 3 triplets and only one that's disabled, and then having to deal with, that and everything else. And then Kellyanne, she had 4 children that were neurodivergent. So just so many great people. And I want to continue having these interviews, but you know what? I might not, because some of you are like, oh, I love to hear Nick talk. I don't like to hear myself talk, but.
Well, that's that thing. You don't have to listen to your episode again. And once you record it, you're done. You've already spent your time with yourself.
Here's the thing. So I've started listening to myself on my smart speaker.
Well, and that's not a problem. That helps critique. That's another thing that I do with the coaching of Nick too, is teaching him, how to intro and how to outro and how to talk about things. And because that's another part of what I do more so than just produce. I've actually coached him on podcasting and doing those interviews and those monologues.
Yeah. So more interviews and more monologues, and maybe we can do some special on location.
Yeah,
stuff.
I think the on location ones are really well. When we do on location ones, though, we can definitely up the quality right off the bat. So we'll get that figured out.
Yeah. So hopefully we can do that soon.
Yeah.
But like I tell you guys, every other week or so, I'm not like one of these TV preachers who try to get money out of your wallet every time they turn around. But this does take a lot of money to do. Not a lot of. Kyle's very generous to me and has been. We're going into our third. I can't believe it. Our third year working together in August. Been very generous. So if you guys can help in any way, my Cash App is in my link tree, and we're going to try to find another way. I've had a GoFundMe up for over a year, but I think we're about to shut that down. So,
well, and the thing too is it's not, yes, there are production costs, and that's understandable, but it's also too, it's to support his time. Like, he puts a lot of time into this. A lot of people don't know this, but every single one of Nick's guests, he has had a pre-call with, maybe even 2 or 3. Like, he spends time on his day. He schedules, like, this man is working like his own business inside of this podcasting thing, where he makes appointments, he schedules stuff. I think I helped you in the very beginning just to kind of show you how to do it. He's got his own scheduling link. He's got communication. If he gets a lead on someone that wants to be on the podcast, or that he would like to have on the podcast, he reaches out to them through his automation and his emailing, sends them the link to schedule a private talk with him. Before, every single person that has come on Nick's podcast has had a private conversation with him prior. That's part of the process that he does.
Yep.
So this is another thing. If you're listening to this and you think that this man is unemployable, there is no way in hell I believe that, because he has been operating his own business now for almost 2 years with all that behind the scenes stuff. And that that monetary help that you may donate to his Cash App or to his GoFundMe are part of like help him, pay for his time that he does that,
Yeah. It's a lot of work, but I will say, one of the best things that I've integrated is ChatGPT. And, I talk about technology and everything else. And it's one of those things, ChatGPT has access to the email that, I use. And I don't even have to send the email anymore.
Really?
And it's just
more than I know.
It's crazy. I mean, I send the email, I tell it what to say, and then they just send it from behind the scenes.
Well, and
I mean, just everything.
And let's talk about that for a second, because I did read some of your comments on people that when Nick makes a post, he's a verbal typer for the most part. I think 90%, 98% of your
100,
typing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of your typing is verbalizing what you want to say, and then So I just remember one comment. I can't remember what it was and when it was, but this person was like, "Oh, this is, you talk about being a writer, and ChatGPT is the one writing for you." You have to understand, Nick has trained his ChatGPT to be part of his brain
for hours.
For hours, he talks to it. He tells it his innermost secrets and understanding, and his philosophies, and the way he thinks. And the information that ChatGPT spits out that Nick posts that he writes is one. I mean, I've talked to this man late at night. Sometimes on TikTok, we've had conversations.
Oh my God.
Sometimes we've had many nights where we've just talked and gotten to know each other better and just, talked personal stuff, not even business stuff, just my life. And he's been very supportive for some things with I've gone through his life, and I've been supportive on things that he's gone through. And he shares that with the AI. And for these individuals that are out there that physically can't type and write, even though they have the brain to do the writing, there is nothing better in the world that has happened to this world than artificial intelligence in that manner. Now that's a whole nother discussion, and feel free to leave comments. Yes, I understand that we have to be regulatory and we have to understand what it can and can't do and what kind of hallucinations it can have. But every single thing that we've ever, heck, the book that we got you involved with, you recorded those chapters.
Yeah.
I took the transcript from that, fed it into ChatGPT, and said, "Hey, correct the spellings and make all the punctuation properly."
Right.
And it spit back everything else that I don't think it added anything. It just corrected stuff. I think it did ask me a couple of questions like, "Hey, this is confusing here." And I went back and listened to it, and I was able to, sometimes with Nick's speech, sometimes the AI doesn't pick up exactly the right words. So we went back through, read those sections, and I worked with ChatGPT on my end on what his verbal, like he sent me, how many videos you sent me? 4?
Like audio, probably 4 or 5.
4 or 5 audios that he literally he had no script and he just wrote. And he wrote with verbalization and got that out where in the audio now with the technology, with AI, can pull those words out that can be his chapter. The chapter that is in his book is not AI written. It is AI adjusted with punctuations and spelling, but it is 100% Nick's word.
Yep.
And that's what he does with his ChatGPT.
Yeah. I mean, when we were working on that and Kyle would read me the chapter back, I said, "Kyle."
Oh, and I put on my voiceover reading voice too.
I was like, "Kyle, that doesn't sound like me at all." So
right. And that 100%, we spent hours on that.
Yeah.
And that was something that was all part of what I do for him. And what, that's another thing. Like go, I'll put the link to the book that's always in the show notes. Go buy his book, read his chapter, read the incredible stories of everybody else in the book. It was a multi-author book. But you're a published author. That came out of this. I forgot to.
Yeah, it's a published author. Yeah, I was coming home and Kyle was like, "Hey, can you jump on a Zoom call with me?" And I was like, "Sure." And so then he introduced me to Cat Paws, which is Katrina Paws' cat, whatever. And she's been on my show, and it's because of him I was able to get this done. And now I use ChatGPT every day, and I am hopefully doing some more writing eventually.
Yeah.
But that's how that book came about.
Yeah.
Was this.
Yep. But that book was 100% Nick's thoughts, his words, not even altered, not altered, through anything other than what Nick just said, through me reading it back to him, hearing it out loud for himself and saying, "You know what, that's not really what I meant there." Or, "You know what, that part doesn't really sound like me in my thinking. Let me change it to this, Kyle." And he would read it to me and I would type it out. Like we spent, how many hours do you think we put into that? We were doing, no, not at all. Those are some late night conversations. Yeah, we'd be on I think we were, most of the time we were on FaceTime and something fun with Nick when he's on FaceTime. It's like right.
You see,
because he holds his phone and I see like a part of his face.
You see my nostrils.
Yeah, because he's holding them.
Which I need to make sure my noses are clean. Well, my nose. I don't have
no nares. That's how you'd say that. Yeah. One nose, 2 nair. Yeah.
Yeah. So
sorry, that's the medical part coming out of me.
Yes. So my nares are right up here on FaceTime. But anyway, so yeah, hopefully more of that is coming.
Right.
And I do have a job opportunity that's hopefully coming soon.
What?
So
wait, breaking news.
Yeah.
Dude, this is now you're surprising me. Brother, tell me.
So I have a job opportunity that's hopefully coming soon. We're just putting on the final touches where my landlord said, I would like you to help get other people who are disabled into our housing and teach them about our rights and,
Right.
what they can do and what they can't, whatever.
Well, see, that's the kind of stuff that he could like those. There are jobs out there for people that need to do that kind of stuff. Somebody's got to build it. Just because because I mean, people work remote all over the world.
Yeah. Can you believe I got one of these? You can't do the podcast from your house because having a business in your house is illegal.
Yeah, we talked about that. We're not going to
Yeah.
go into that.
Um,
No, we're not going to make that a big part of this one.
well, Paula Dean started her company, The Bag Lady, from her kitchen. So I guess she's been doing stuff illegal for
Yeah.
But anyway,
Well,
and she would make her boys go on their bikes and
yeah.
deliver. Anyway.
Long story. Yeah. So nonetheless, that's fantastic news, Nick. This is why we have this 100th episode. Hopefully it's one that you enjoyed and we got to reflect on all your episodes before and think of what the future of Nick Speaks podcast is going to be. Glad to hear that you've got a potential, job possibility. We won't jinx it by going what stage you're in, but
yeah,
I'm sure he'll announce it on one of his episodes for sure once it's a done deal and describe his new workflow with that. But yeah, man,
it's going to be great.
I've been so privileged to help you. It was a mutual friend of ours that connected us about voiceover acting. And then we talked for an hour about teaching Nick how to voiceover act or talking about voiceover acting from my background from it. And we come to find out, one of the things that I shared with him is that, voiceover acting isn't just reading the script and whatnot. There's editing involved. There's audio production involved, which all generates stuff that you have to do, manually. Now, back then, I don't know, maybe AI can do it a little bit more now, but nonetheless, right before we got off the phone, he said something about he wanted to start a podcast. I'm like, bro, you should have started with that. So we went a few months and started talking back and forth, trying to figure out how things would work and how it would all work out and how we would do it and the logistics of it. And then he launched his podcast. So, I think having something in the podcast world is definitely something that if people haven't watched all of his episodes yet, please go back and take a look, go ahead and comment in those episodes. Old episodes can get new life. So make those comments, be respectful.
Well, if you're not, I just won't be respectful to you. So
anything else before we sign off, Nick?
No, I'm good. Thank you guys for being here at the Nick Speaks podcast, where we speak up, speak out, and speak loud about the disabled community and everything else in between. More is coming. Stay tuned. Like, follow, share. Bye.
Take care, everybody. Good job, brother.
We're done.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in to the Nick Speaks podcast, where we speak up, speak out, and speak loud for the disabled community. If today's conversation resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a new episode. You can find Nick across all platforms by visiting his link tree in the show notes. And please leave a comment to join the conversation. Until next time, keep speaking up, keep speaking out, and keep speaking loud.